the old structure of much of higher education that is based on a more authoritarian model where the university professors and teachers teach from a position of authority and are talking down to the students and are in essence seeking to program the students to conform to the overall worldview upon which that educational institution is based, or even the overall view upon which most educational institutions are based. You will recognize, of course, that much of higher education around the world promotes a strictly materialistic view of life. This feeds certain demons or beings in the mental realm. It even feeds many demons in the emotional realm, who are stealing people's energy by engaging them in the intellectual pursuit of a rational explanation for how the universe works, so that we can put God out of the equation, for now we have this rational theory that explains everything. But it also makes many intellectual people have a certain disdain or overbearing feeling towards religious people, and thereby their emotional energies are drained. So you see then that much education is not aimed at giving the students wisdom, but is aimed at programming their minds to accept a certain worldview that is defined by the dark forces, the very forces of anti-wisdom. And this, of course, is an important topic to make calls on, because how will we ever bring forth a greater awareness of the Golden Age and the Golden Age principles unless it involves education? In many cases, it must start with education. And it must start by recognizing that the current educational model in many countries is based on not only a Piscean mindset, but the perverted Piscean mindset of an authoritarian structure that leads to one person or a few people being at the top and everybody at lower levels having to conform. You need to open up for an Aquarian age education where there is no authority as such, where it is recognized that both students and teachers are walking a continued path of education, and that the teachers are not meant to possess a finite closed box of knowledge, but a teacher should actually be a person who is learning throughout his entire life, and he or she is learning by teaching and is continually growing and evolving and raising their consciousness in order to deserve being called a teacher. You cannot educate yourself for X amount of years and attain X amount of knowledge and think that this will be enough to teach this for the rest of your life. You are constantly educating yourself. And this means that it needs to be seen in the Aquarian age that as the students are being taught and educated by the teachers are also learning from the students, and therefore all are growing together. And this means that the old structure of having a classroom where a teacher is standing at the podium talking down to the students is long since obsolete. And it needs to be replaced by what you do see in many fields of education is beginning to emerge, namely a much more interactive structure. But it can become much more interactive where the students and teachers are working together on projects that are not simply aimed at stuffing factual knowledge into the minds of the students, but actually advancing knowledge on an overall level by engaging the students in some kind of project where they are either researching some new field or they are seeking ways to give this knowledge unto other people. It also needs to be recognized that in the Aquarian age, education will not be a closed box. It will not be so that you have an educational institution that is set apart from society, and only those who choose to fulfill the requirements and become full-time students may enter. It needs to be seen that in the Aquarian age, an educational institution is seeking to raise the awareness of all of the people in society by reaching beyond the closed academic circles. It needs to be recognized that in the Piscean age, an educational institution was a way to bestow a privilege on certain people, but the price they paid for getting that privilege was that they surrendered to the mindset that ran the organization. If you were willing to submit to the materialistic mindset, then you could receive a degree from the university and a well-paid job in some scientific institution. But woe unto you if you questioned the materialistic paradigm. You would become an outcast, as you still do in many fields of science and education. Instead of having these closed institutions that bestow privileges on people, educational institutions need to be much more open and educate people who are not necessarily seeking a degree, but they need to seek to raise the general level of education, because in the Aquarian age it needs to be seen that you are educating yourself throughout your entire life. And this isn't just a matter of acquiring factual knowledge or skills, but of raising your general level of awareness, raising your consciousness by knowing about your own psychology and how the human psyche works, how the world works, what works and what doesn't work, based on the wisdom of the Mother. This is the aim of the Golden Age education that I envision. There is, of course, much more to say about it, many more aspects, but I am not looking to say everything through one messenger, for I am looking for those who are spiritually aware and who are willing to tune in and receive the ideas and who can put them into action because they have knowledge of and experience with the educational system, and they know firsthand what works and what does not work, and they know that something new is needed. Again, not even all of them need to know about ascended masters and know where the ideas are coming from, but you as the spiritual students can make the calls for these people to be cut free and to be open so they can receive these ideas and implement them. You do understand, I hope, that the golden age of Saint Germain will not be brought by 30 or 40 people who are following a particular ascended master teaching. They are not even going to be brought by thousands or 10,000s or millions of people following a particular ascended master teaching. They are going to be brought by millions of people who are receptive to receiving the ideas that make up the Golden Age. Many of them will not need to know about ascended masters or know where they come from, but they will need to have that openness so they can receive that one idea that they can bring forth and put into action, because they are in that position in the physical octave where they can bring a particular area of society one step forward. There are millions of such people around the world. And I know that when you think about this, you realize that you have transcended this ego-based desire that you want to be among the few who bring the Golden Age. I know that you are able to tune in to how we look at this, where we are not looking at who brings the golden age and who gets the credit. We are just looking at bringing in the golden age for the benefit of all. It is when you transcend the desire for personal credit or personal honor and work for the benefit of all that you will find that your mind suddenly magically becomes free of many of the issues that Mother Mary talked about and called petty problems. Because it was the egoic desire to be someone special that caused you to be drawn into many of these activities. And when you let go of it, you will find that it is such a relief to just release this, where you are not seeking some outer credit or honor or glory. You are just enjoying being in the flow and finding your place, finding your contribution to make to this grand overall scheme envisioned by Saint Germain. We have in the past seen Ascended Master groups who thought that a few hundred or a few thousand people were the ones who would bring in the golden age of Saint Germain. But Saint Germain has never seen it that way. He looks to all who have the potential to make some contribution. And his mind is grand enough to work with millions and millions of people on this planet and give them exactly what they can receive, each one. If you let go of the desire to be someone special, then you will find that you will be special because you will be able to receive the exact idea from Saint Germain that you have the potential to bring forth. And that, my beloved, will be your greatest joy. As it is my greatest joy to work with those of you who are sensitive to my being and to give you the ideas that you can receive from the second ray and the Chohan of wisdom that I am. And therefore, I thank you for putting your attention on me rather than the many things in the world that seek to steal your energy. For I do not need your energy. I need you to receive my energy and ideas, for I am a being that does not need to take in. I need to give out, for it is not my need, but my greatest joy to give to those who are willing to receive.